Hello, so today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to cook mustard greens. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get your bushel of greens, and on them most of the time they have some type of twist tie or something to let you know what kind they are. So if you aren't sure, you can always check the label and it has a number next to it to let you know. So the first thing you're going to do is open up your bundle, and then you are going to pick up a piece. So what you want to do is check and see if it's still fresh looking, and this one is fresh looking. It's a bigger piece. And now you're going to go to the tallest part where you see the most greens, and you just pull down. That's all you do is pull down, and you want to get off as much as the stem as possible. And so that's all you should have left is the leaf. And you put that to the side, and then you go in and grab another. Now this one's a little bit different, but we're going to do the same technique. Going down, we're pulling both pieces together to make it easier, and we've pulled off the stem, toss it in the garbage, and we have this left. So we'll be back after we have gotten all of our stems off. At this time, this is what you should have: a bunch of mustard greens that's been picked and ready to go into the next step. So we've already determined how to figure out if you have mustard greens when you're at the store. So either you're going to have a thing like this, a label that's wrapped around it, and it's going to tell you what it is, or it might also have a rubber band to let you know, which is just the same thing. Also, I wanted to add, some of them you are gonna have some dirt on them, so don't freak out if you're like, oh my god, why are they dirty? That is perfectly normal. Some people have theirs already cleaned, some don't have theirs pre-washed. But I also wanted to add, if you come across any greens that are flimsy like this, you see how they're just dead in comparison to this, which looks like it's full of life. So if you have one that's flimsy like that, that's trash. You have any that's looking like this, that's all disheveled and broken up, trash it. You don't want anything like that. Any that looks slimy or just not appetizing, toss it. And also I wanted to add that sometimes you are going to see bugs. Don't freak out again. It's normal. They're fresh products. Sometimes they're not cleaned. So we're going to move on to step 2, which is washing the greens. So you're going to have your sink cleaned out. If you have a double tub, this is perfect. I prefer having double tubs. So first thing you're going to do is turn on your water. I prefer lukewarm water. And take your stopper. This is my stopper, and I'm going to stop it up. I have a little Ajax right here. Some people just use water, but I like to use a little Ajax. This is something my mom taught me to do a long time ago. So you're only going to take a little, because again, we have dirty greens and they have to get cleaned. So as you can see, there's not much in here. So it's not like I'm putting a lot in here. Actually, nothing's in here right now. So I'm going to take, do the old trick. Scoop it up. Okay. So while that water is getting ready, all you're going to do is dump the greens in there. Now sometimes you're going to have more greens and you're not going to be able to do it at one time, but I happen to have just enough greens to cover up one tub, so this works out fine for me right now. That's why I said I like to have a double basin when I'm cleaning my greens. So yes, as you can see, all I'm doing is washing them, moving my hands around. I did have a little Ajax. I'm going to try to get a little bit more because I didn't like the amount that I had. So it's not a lot. It's just enough to make sure that I'm going to rinse off any insects that I might have missed as I was cleaning them, any dirt or anything else that was in there. So as you can see, I'm just moving my hands through them just to make sure that the water and the suds are getting through all of the greens equally until I feel that they are clean. Now, I don't like to let mine sit too long, but I do like to have a good mixture of water and suds. So, you want to have the basin almost full to the top, and that's what I'm waiting on. As you can see over there, that's my roast. I'm waiting to put that in my crock pot. I'm going to have a roast. Okay, so you want to make sure that the greens have enough room to move around freely, and that's what I'm doing. And I still have the water running until I get to the height that I'm ready to let it stop. All right, we're gonna stop right here, and we're gonna come back once I'm ready to rinse them. You can see I have moved the greens from this side of the basin to the other side. What's in here now is just the dirty water, and it looks a little green, and I don't know if you can see, but there's dirt sitting down at the bottom, and that's the dirt that we were trying to get off. So over here, I don't have a stopper in there. I'm just letting the water run over the greens that I cleaned to make sure that it rinses off any excess dirt that I missed or any other bugs or anything else that might be in there. And I do this for about 5-6 minutes just to make sure, and then I would immerse it back. Oops, put that back. So pretty much what I do is take the stopper out, rinse it off, and stick it in on this side so I can rinse. And that's all I'm doing. Like, see, I found something, so that's what I mean. So that's the purpose of rinsing. And if you can see in my sink, you see that dirt? You see it? I don't know if you can see it really good, but that's dirt. So just to let you know that that's why I use the Ajax, just to make sure that it gets all of the dirt off. So I'll come back after I have rinsed these for about 5 to 6 minutes. Okay, so this is how they look when I'm rinsing them again. So this is the second time that I have rinsed them. And I don't know if you can see, but again, that is another view of the dirt that's in the sink. So you can see that I don't say that just to say it. It actually does get dirty. Oops. Yeah. So it is actual dirt. Okay. So after I've done this, now this is going to be where I'm going to take them and place them in the pot that I'm going to cook in. And the pot that I'm going to use is a pot that my mom gave me. Shout out to Barb C30 on YouTube. Thanks, Mom. So I've had this pot since I was like 19 or 20. Trusty dusty. So you want a nice pot to place them in, and you just take them out and place them in the pot. And you'll see that my water on this side looks different than the green water that was on that side. And please note that not all of your greens are going to fit in your pot. Sometimes that's just what happens, and you have to actually cook some and then wait till they boil down a little to put the rest in. this is what the other sink looks like now. As you can see, it's greenish water. It's not as dirty. So that was the second stage of cleaning. Now we have the greens in the pot, and the next thing we're going to do is turn on our heat. I like to turn up to around 4 if you have a numbered stove. And I'm gonna let this sit for a while. Now greens make their own water, so you pretty much don't have to put any more water in here. But right now what I'm trying to do is make sure that the greens get cleaned one more time with its own water. So I'm going to go ahead and let these cook for a while and wait for the greens to simmer down a little, and that'll be the last time that I rinse. Okay, as you can see, my pot has condensed down and they're way less than what it was that I went. So what you see now is me rinsing my greens for the last and final time. I'm just gonna, and I'm using warm to hot water, and I'm just going around giving them enough room to make sure I've gotten all the dirt off, any insects or any other impurities before I cook them. So, and then I've just moved them around. You know, that's how they should look because they've been semi-cooked. And remember, you don't need to add too much water to greens because they make their own water. Remember that. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my mix and my strainer because it'll make it so much easier. And I don't feel like tipping it and all that extra. So I just got my trusty strainer out, and I put it down, and I'm gonna pour my greens into it. And it has a strong aroma. That's to let you know that they were cooking. So now you see I'm straining them. And I'm gonna take the pot and put them right back in there. Now at this point, I probably am going to put a little water in here because I haven't, I poured out all the water. And I know they make their own, but you need some type of water in the bottom when you put them back on the stove. So you don't need that much. And that's it. So now, this is just what I like to do. I like to add bacon to mine to give it a little extra seasoning. So bacon out. And this brand happens to be Corn King. I'm just taking a random bacon I had, and I'm gonna pull each strip and add it in because I want the bacon to cook while they're finally in their last stage to start cooking, and I want the bacon to give it that flavor. I'm just twirling it around to make sure the bacon and the greens are evenly distributed. Okay. So now I'm going to also add my greens, and this is just my choice. I put some Lawry's, and I put a little garlic powder as well. Any brand will do, but Lawry's is always my go-to. This one's kind of empty. I'm probably going to use up all of this in this one. And just sprinkle it until you're liking, because you have to check them every so often to make sure that they're cooking right. And now I'm going to just put them back on the stove, and I'm going to let them cook for another 30-45 minutes with the top on it. Here's the top, and I'm just going to let them cook on the stove.